This podcast is intended for listeners over the age of 19 in Ontario, and we ask that you respect your local laws regarding cannabis.
Be sure to like, download, follow, subscribe, and of course, share with all your friends.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, ladies.
Hi, Annie.
Hi, Amanda.
And hi to Kyrsten.
Welcome to the Hotbox virtually, Kyrsten. Kyrsten is joining us all the way from the other side of Canada. Beautiful BC. And she is from White Rabbit OG.
That's right. So White Rabbit is a brand that I was introduced to just within our dispensaries that are here in Ontario. They make some of the most delicious edibles that I have been able to find within the market. One of the things that I love about it, other than the flavors, other than multiple options, other than everything that I do love about their brand, I love that it is a female-run, female-focused brand.
Indeed.
Right? Like, we're not excluding men from this product or anything.
It's a bunch of empowered women who have...
Right. They kind of said, well, there's no real edibles out there that appeal to us.
Yes.
Right?
Yep, you got it. Yep.
Yo, Kyrsten.
Well, thank you very much, ladies. Yep. It's thank you for having me on your show.
We are so happy to have you and share you with our audience. Can you tell us a bit about White Rabbit and what it grew out of?
Yeah, for sure. White Rabbit was co-founded by both myself and my partner, David. David and I have known each other for about 15 years through some mutual friends. And David and I started working together when I was working in the food industry, where I had been for almost 2 decades. And David had started into the cannabis field, and he had asked me to help them develop various products for the company that he was working for at the time. And those turned out great. And eventually he said, well, come join us full time. So I did. It was a heck of a great journey and a learning experience, delving into the cannabis arena. But like many other cannabis firms, we eventually found ourselves out of money. So David and I said, well, we think there's still a future in this field, and we think we have something special to bring. So let's start our own company. And that's early January 2020, right before COVID hit, we founded White Rabbit.
Such a cool story.
I love that.
How did COVID affect getting this business up and off the ground? There were so many restrictions that came out during that time. It must have really sort of thrown a wrench in what was going on, or maybe it didn't at all.
Man, no, it did definitely in the beginning, because White Rabbit isn't a licensed producer in and of itself. The technology we had to be used through a licensed partner. So when we decided to put this all together, we toured around to many LPs, asking if we could have that chance to prove our theory that this could work. In the beginning, it was easy enough to line up the appointments. But a week later, not so much. Everyone was starting to lock down, and having a foreign face on your site was not something that a lot of people were open to. So we took a lot of meetings by phone and got a lot of, well, we'll see, and let's wait to see how all this plays out.
Oh yeah. But you persevered and you kept on trucking.
We did, and we ended up getting a great opportunity to give our pitch to a terrific partner right here in our backyard with Pure Sun Farms, and
they're amazing.
They are. They've got great products and a heck of a great team, and they believed in us and our concept enough to take that chance and say, okay, we're in. So we signed the deal in August, and by November, we were up and producing and had our product on the market by January 2021.
Wow.
And then Then COVID worked in our favor.
Once you were in the stores, yeah.
How so?
Yeah. Well, I think with everyone going through lockdown and everyone feeling that sense of anxiety and social disconnect, getting a little bit of chill in you via White Rabbit was something that was definitely on the rise.
That's
I
a
think,
yeah, exactly. And I think that's a perfect segue into what is Eat Me technology? What sets White Rabbit apart? I mean, the dispensaries that we're seeing more and more edibles.
Oh, yeah.
What makes White Rabbit different?
Well, there's a lot of things I think that make us different. So we chose all of our ingredients very carefully, and we made sure that we were choosing the best of the best. We relied on Mother Nature to do a lot of the heavy lifting in the tastes and flavors, because we use whole fruits and all natural flavors, a lot of organic ingredients.
Sorry to interrupt, but is it your background that made you able to experiment with all those different flavors and pairings?
It was my background in the food manufacturing sector. I have a background in biochemistry and microbiology, and then 2 decades of food manufacturing experience. It definitely did help me put together the textural applications, like actually getting the product to set and have the right sort of tooth feel and mouth feel. The flavor aspects, I'd like to dabble in the culinary. So, some of those pairings are. I mean, there's inspiration for those flavor combinations from a lot of different things. Desserts inspire me, cocktails. Really, everything starts with the fruit, and then from there we build upon that with a different sort of experience. So, whether it's pairing it with like flavors or trying to imitate some sort of nostalgic taste and flavor that you had as a kid, there's lots there.
That's the sour peach.
Yeah. Oh, actually, see,
and I was totally. It's like the fuzzy peach.
Yeah. Well, so being in Ontario, we have most of your products available here, but I'm not sure if I've ever seen the blackberry lemonade here in Ontario.
I think there's 2 flavors that are missing
from the OCS. So I guess my first call out is that if we have any bud tenders or store managers or store owners that are listening today,
which we know we do,
if you want to see more of these White Rabbit flavors that are available in other parts of the country, all you have to do is reach out to the OCS, send them an email, tag your or CC your AGCO people on it, but ask them, say, I've heard of this product, I really want to carry it in my store. Bring it into the OCS.
Yeah.
Okay. So any products, I feel like that's just a good piece of news.
A PSA from Amanda.
From Amanda. If you see stuff in other provinces and you want it here, you just need to ask. And if we get enough people asking for it, they will bring it in.
Yes.
And that's my.
That's so appreciated, ladies. I really appreciate that support.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The blackberry lemonade, I've been really excited to try it. And I came home from work today and couldn't wait, ripped it open, and I took one, and I love that you were speaking about the mouth feel, because I think that is one of the biggest things within the edibles market, is that none of them feel good in your mouth. Right? Like the chocolates don't melt properly, the edibles they fall apart while you're eating them. They don't,
And your brain doesn't like that. My brain doesn't like when the texture doesn't meet.
That's
what
right.
It's expecting.
But these don't have that as a problem at all, right? They feel nice.
Well, thank you very much. There is definitely science to food science, and knowing how different ingredients behave, what they're compatible with, how they mix together, how it's processed through your body. It makes a difference. And one thing I did learn in working with well, I've learned lots, but one thing I learned from the big companies, that you can make something that's very good for you, but unless you can make it taste good, consumers are only going to try it once and
That's
they won't
right.
come back.
That's
That's
right.
so
That's so true.
But they also want to have a good experience. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of these flavors, excuse me, I am so interested in the idea of Eat Me technology, about knowing when to expect.
Yeah,
I
think there's a real dependability, and I think that is even more so when it comes to women, and maybe not just women, but like
Totally.
people of a
No,
certain age.
I hear you. I totally feel it. As a mother, you need to set the rules and the boundaries, and know that there's always going to be that same expected sort of behaviors. I think that's part of all of us too. Yeah.
Yeah, so like a consistency, from if I buy this bag and then I go to another dispensary and get that bag, are they going to be the same product inside of it? But also just like the onset of a dosage, right? Like if I take, not that I use really any pharmaceuticals really anymore, but if I take an ibuprofen, I know that in about 20 to 30 minutes, that medication should be kicking in and I should start feeling the effects.
Yeah.
Right? And if I don't feel the effects of that ibuprofen, then I probably don't have a headache. I probably have something way worse that is, happening.
Yeah.
So knowing that when I take this edible, it's going to affect me in X amount of minutes, that's a huge thing.
It also means that you're not going to go, oh, it didn't work, and I'm going to take 5 more.
Exactly.
I believe that White Rabbit's a sort of a 15-minute window, and it is very reliable.
Kyrsten, would that be, is the Eat Me technology about 15 minutes before it kicks in?
So we have a fairly vast friends and family network that we've leaned upon to get feedback from taking our products, and from all genders, races, ethnicities, time of day. And generally the feedback that we found is that onset time for our products is between 15 and 22 minutes.
Well, that's exact, 15 and 22.
Oh, yeah, we've dialed it in.
Yeah, well, I can say that I took it right before we called you at 3:58, and I can feel it, and I consider myself to be somebody who has a very high tolerance. This is only a 2.5 milligram THC with 5 milligram CBD per piece.
Gummy.
Yeah, or, and I can feel it. Like, I just feel relaxed. Like, I can...
Yeah.
It kind of feels...
Gets you in your happy place. Yeah.
That's right. Like I'm a little bit more chatty than I would be at the end of a work day. I mean, I drove from Barrie to Parry Sound and back today, which is quite the trek.
And you shopped for the school today.
We did lots of things today. So it feels great.
Yes. Just to take the edge off. And that's what I love about these gummies is you can just take the edge off. You want to have a few more. It could be your Friday night. But if it's just after school and I've got to do what I call the third shift and I want to, sort of enjoy the fact that I'm emptying lunch boxes and making dinner and just to take the edge off.
That's right. That's
right. Well, that was sort of the whole premise behind developing the Blackberry Merlot.
Yes.
White Rabbit, it is led by women. We are mostly women at this company. And it was developed for me, exactly. It's for women of a certain age that want to relax, want to get their chill on, and just like you have that glass of wine at the end of the night to help you unwind and sort of ease into or ease out of work. The gummy, Blackberry Merlot, is exactly that. Yep.
Sorry, I'm reading your ingredients here too. Like a mature audience like us, a discernible consumer like us, and Amanda and I are saying it all the time. It's the mature women who are, actually consciously buying cannabis.
Right, and they're consuming with intention. Right? They're saying they're not going, oh, I just want to get really messed up tonight. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I also like to get really messed up every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but who doesn't?
Yeah. Exactly, right? But at the end of the day, I don't need to get messed up. I just need to
Soften the corners.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, listen to me. But like every third word in your ingredients is organic. And that is something that we look at. The 23-year-old dude is going to buy the sour gummy, whatever stuff, and not ever think twice about what exactly he is putting into his body. Where at this point, we're like, we've done enough damage. If we were a cat, we've only got 2 lives left. We better tread lightly.
Yeah, we're definitely a lot more discerning about because we've now learned, what you put in is what you get out.
Exactly.
That's
You
right.
spend too much time in the sun, you're going to get wrinkles. You
That's
drink
right.
too much wine. A moment on the lips is forever on the hips.
Yay!
Yeah. So we're trying to put those good things in a small package that doesn't make you compromise in any which way.
Right. Now, something that I really love about the White Rabbit line is that we haven't removed all the sugar. We've left the natural sugars in there. And I think that's wonderful. But it's not really high in sugar. So I have tasted a ton of edibles that are available on the rec market, and they're either sugar-free and yuck, or they are full of sugar and leave my mouth going like, oh, did I just drink Kool-Aid crystals? Like,
then you don't know if you have a sugar high or a high.
That's right. I'm like, I was looking at the package for another brand, and it has almost 30 grams of sugar. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like that, I might as well drink a can of Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
At that point, right?
And you're not drinking Coca-Cola for that reason.
Exactly.
So read your labels, people. Can I try one, Amanda?
No, you're not allowed. No,
I'm going to try the raspberry white chocolate.
Oh.
One of my favorite things growing up was white chocolate mousse cake.
Ooh. And you can, and all of our listeners can listen to the crinkly of our of the packaging.
Oh, beautiful.
So the inspiration behind that was actually it was a white chocolate cheesecake with a raspberry coulis.
Ooh.
And you hit it fucking spot on, ma'am.
Thank you.
Oh.
Wow, I really like that.
Yeah, really mature flavors.
That's the word.
Right? Like mature flavors. That's what it is.
And we are making these for children. So
that's right. So why not give us mature, adultish flavors? I don't...
Yep, absolutely.
Right?
It disappeared in my mouth.
Yes.
The aftertaste is just, it's like a memory of being 12 years old and having my birthday cake.
No, cannabis taste.
No.
None, right? No. I've had a few now because it's that kind of week. There is zero aftertaste or zero cannabis taste.
No.
Like...
Yeah, and that is intentional, and that is actually all part of the design of the Eat Me technology. Mm-hmm. I can bounce out a little bit on the Eat Me if you'd like to, because I know it is a big part of the experience, and it is a point of distinction for us versus other brands that aren't using an emulsion.
Yeah, see, I'm very new to this as well, and I would love to know about what a cannabis emulsion is.
Yeah, absolutely. So when starting this project off and designing the gummy, I knew one of the challenges would be how to get the cannabis distillate in, because the inherent challenge here is that cannabis is a fat-based molecule, and the gummy, just like most of the foods we eat, are water-based. And water and oil don't mix very well. If you've ever made your own oil and vinegar dressing, you recognize quite quickly that those two liquid phases, they separate out.
Yeah.
And you can shake it and it will blend together, but you leave it sitting on the counter, it will eventually separate out again.
Right.
So in developing the Eat Me technology, there was 2 main purposes to creating it. The first one was consistency and making sure that each and every gummy had the same amount of product in it. And the second was was to increase the onset time, make it a rapid onset, and to increase the bioavailability of the cannabinoids.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take that fat-based particle, the first thing you have to do in creating an emulsion is to homogenize it, to break up those fat particles into small little droplets.
Okay.
This can usually be done lots of different methods. You can break it up with a high shear, like rotating blades. You can break it up by pushing the oil through like a fine mesh and separating them.
You're just trying to make smaller bubbles.
Exactly. Yep. Just small little droplets of oil in the water. So once you do that, that's the equivalent of, again, that oil and vinegar dressing. You shake it up, and now it looks all nice and same. It looks homogeneous.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't do something to stabilize that, those fat particles, they love each other. Yeah, they come. The oil particles are attracted back to each other, and they just end up being in one big blob.
Yeah.
So then, after homogenizing it, I stabilize it with an emulsifier. And this is something that's not new technology. It's been done for hundreds of years, really.
And in so many of the different foods that we consume.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You see it in your salad dressing, in mayonnaise, even milk is homogenized.
Right.
So, but making it stay in that state, you choose these emulsifiers, and there's lots of great emulsifiers out there. But coming back to what we wanted to start with was a whole foods, plant-based, good tasting. We chose a plant-based emulsifier to make sure that those little oil droplets all stayed separated. So then that way everything dispersed throughout the gummies in our little craft kettles when we cook these up. And then when we deposit them, we know that each and every time it's always got that same amount, a reliable, consistent dosing.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And I did add a few extra tricks I had up my sleeve from
the food industry.
Food. Yeah.
Hey.
It came in handy. It was never a fun topic at parties to talk about up until now. But,
right.
Yeah. The cannabis distillate, you mentioned you don't taste it in our product.
No.
And it is because I use a variety of natural flavors to mask those bitter tastes, to mask the off taste of cannabis.
Okay. It's a lovely experience.
So it's like hiding the cannabis flavors behind other more
predominant.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not. You can't get rid of the flavors, but what you do is you round them out, and you find you soften the edges. You mute those flavors by using flavors that are sort of on the opposite side of it. So
that's how that's done.
Yeah.
That's how that's done. I think food science is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
And I wish somebody had have told me when I was young that combining science and food was even a career option.
Yes.
Because I would have been all over that.
Yes.
But it does make it fun and relevant because it's something that you can see every day all around you. I mean, and seemingly more important nowadays when we're all looking at labels and trying to lead that healthy lifestyle and look for those clean labels without a bunch of additives and artificial ingredients.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I had an idea with these white rabbit because I'm always, you know me, Annie, I'm always trying to come up with like cool presentation things for, anything cannabis related. That's why I buy cool glass for consuming. I don't even smoke, like I only smoke joints, but I have all kinds of glass just because I think it's cool, right? Now, I wanted to we've been kind of working on this, doing a charcuterie board that features these edibles because I just feel like sitting around a table, entertaining people, this is more my speed.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, well, one of our listeners actually reached out to us last week, and she was hosting a sort of nibblies and edibles backyard party, and I said we were thinking the same thing, and I think there's more women moving towards this. cannabis edibles, cannabis drinks.
Yep.
Instead of alcoholic beverages. And that doesn't mean we can't socialize. And doesn't mean we can't be classy.
Nope.
But to pair something like the strawberry big balsamic with a beautiful meat tray and vegetable tray, it goes hand in hand. And I think it's just it's sort of learning a new culture. And I think that's why Amanda and I keep wanting to talk about these different ways of consuming, because not everybody knows they're out there. Not everybody knows they're an option. And the more we talk about them, the more we try them, the more we share them, the more we're going to see this as a normal practice within our society. Like having your glass of wine at the end of the day. I'm just having my White Rabbit. Let's see, I'm going to have the Blackberry Merlot today. With my 10 milligrams of CBD and my 2.5 milligrams of THC.
Right? See, and that's another thing that I love. That's what I love about White Rabbit, too, is that there's different dosing options depending on what your speed is, right? So if you're, if you want something that's a little bit more heavy on the CBD, right? Like you're going to lean on your strawberry balsamic fig, which has higher levels of CBD, but no THC.
Exactly.
Right? So like I always think of like my mom and my sister for something like that. But then when I look at something like what my brother and I would probably consume is more like the craft blueberry or the craft sour peach, because it's got a higher dose of THC, lower in the CBD.
And I'm all about balance. And the white chocolate, the raspberry white chocolate, is a 1-to-1 ratio. So do ask your bud tenders and do have those conversations.
And, talk to them about the entourage effect. Talk to them about mixing, or not mixing cannabinoids, but like having a more full spectrum of cannabinoids.
Yes.
Right? Because it's such an important part of cannabis, right?
Indeed. Indeed. Kyrsten, where do you see the edibles market going? Where do you see White Rabbit going in 5 years, let's say?
Oh, 5 years.
Okay, so you're 2 years old. That's 2 years old. That's 2 years.
Yeah. And 5
years.
years in cannabis years is, that's a lifetime. So, within the next couple of years, we're hoping to expand with another production site.
Ooh.
And adding more SKUs, more flavors, and we're adding new cannabinoids and new ratios of cannabinoids.
Oh, new cannabinoids, like a CBN.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, she can't tell us everything.
She's not allowed to tell us things. Oh my goodness.
It sounds like you are going to go head first and just take it down. Like you guys sound like you probably can't even keep up with yourselves.
Well, we're trying hard to keep our head above water. We're swimming hard. That there's a lot that we can do. There's a lot that we do plan to do. We love our gummy category. We love the flavors. We love that it's discreet. I think we'll probably stick to our lane with what we know best, which is food products in general.
Yep.
But you may see some different delivery formats in the future too. And I can't quite mention them now, but
that's fine.
There's definitely nothing like that on the market right now. So
new things that don't currently exist. Oh my goodness. So excited.
I know you can't say anymore, but that just tickles me pink and leaves me wanting more, just like these gummies do. We are so excited to watch where you're going in the market, to see you growing.
That's right. We've bought a whole bunch of White Rabbit We've got them all laid out here in front of us.
Yep.
So we're going to be having...
Oh, thank you, ladies. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, we're going to be having quite the next few days. And
having a White Rabbit party.
That's it. And listeners, keep an eye on our Instagram page, because we're definitely going to be posting some pictures and some, different ways that you can consume these, or present, I guess would be the word, not consume. Present these edibles for consumption.
Yeah, and ask your local bud tender.
Yes, definitely. Yes, always stressing, talk to your bud tenders. Just talk to them.
Kyrsten, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for taking time to share all of this amazing stuff with our listeners.
Well, thank you so much, Annie and Amanda. Thank you both for giving us the opportunity to talk about our brand and to spread the word and hope that more will follow the White Rabbit.
Yeah, most definitely.
Down the hole.
Down the hole, exactly.
But now it is time for us to step away.
Take a toke.
And go be moms. If you've enjoyed today's episode, which I know you have, you can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and of course, tell all your friends. You can email us at
highladiespodcast@gmail.com.
Find us on Instagram where?
At Hi Ladies Podcast. Almost forgot.
All right.
Bye, ladies. Bye, Kyrsten.
Bye, ladies.
Stay high, ladies.